Hello, this is Matthew with CoreCommerce. I am the Technical Services Manager. I've been with CoreCommerce since about 2015, and I started in support. Today, I wanted to talk about 10 settings that you may have missed within your CoreCommerce shopping cart. So the first one is email autoresponders. This one is going to be located on the left-hand menu under Marketing, Order Autoresponder, Add New Autoresponder. Basically, this is going to allow you to send your customers an email immediately after an order is placed. Some good use cases for this are going to be promoting your products, providing coupon codes to your customers, or just providing your clients with any additional information that they may need. Um, Adding to this, anytime you are editing a specific product under the inventory section, you can also add very specific autoresponders to each individual product as well. The next one is donation style product. This one is going to be located on the left-hand menu as well under inventory, manage products, variants, and it's going to be a personalization type variant. And then the selection type will be donation. So this is just simply going to allow your customers to key in any amount that they want on a given product. It's going to add that item to their cart, and then when they go to checkout, they would pay for whatever amount they set that donation to. So some use cases for this could be maybe you're running special events, maybe you want to have your customers entered into some kind of drawing. If you're working with any charities or organizations such as St. Jude, Heart to Heart, any of those, this is a great idea to collect funds for those types of things. The next one is canonical URL and search engines. This one is going to be located on pretty much any product category or content page. There's going to be a tab at the bottom of those areas called search engine tags. Basically, this canonical URL allows you to, it allows Google to pull up those pages through that URL. So anytime you have some kind of an issue, you can delete that URL and then refresh that page, and it's going to automatically bring that page up. One thing to note on that is the titles of product pages or categories, if they are exactly the same, it is going to cause issues. And in this case, you would want to ensure that those names are entirely unique from each other. The next one is updating your sitemaps. There's a couple of areas that you're going to want to pay attention to here. Under settings, inventory settings, product actions, rebuild sitemaps. This will go across every single page on your website and rebuild that data. Google, for example, uses this information to be able to display your pages on Google. Along with that, I recommend going to settings, store settings, build sitemap XML. And this file specifically is sent to the Google Search Console, for example. And that data is populated based on what you've rebuilt from the sitemaps on the previous step. And one thing to note here as well, this information we do update every 24 hours. But let's say, for example, you're making tons of updates to your website and you want to get the information out as fast as possible. That's where you can come here and manually rebuild this information. All right, the next one is search result logic. This one is located in the settings menu, widget settings, search result logic. So there's quite a few settings here, but just touching on this shortly, you can determine how your customers interact with your store, and this is done by For example, the search behavior, you can set that to and or even exact. And basically what that's going to do is when they're typing in keywords, they either need to type in um, the exact information, such as a product name or a product SKU. If you set it to or, it means if they're typing in multiple words across multiple categories, it's going to broaden the list of products that come up in that search. You could also allow partial searches, and that's a lot better, again, to broaden the chances a customer finds what they are looking for. But depending on the complexity of your products, if you're choosing to allow the search result logic to show on category descriptions, meta information, um, depending on how much you have enabled, it can kind of make that a bit of a mess on the customer's end in terms of finding that specific product they're looking for. So you may have to mess with some of these settings and just see what works best for your products. All right, the next one is setting up a poll. This one is also located under settings, widget settings, polls. The way you're going to enable that poll after you have created that is going to be under site content, sidebar widgets, input widget, and it will just say poll. Once you do that, depending on what template you're using, it's going to appear on either the left or right side, whichever you have enabled that to. And basically, this is going to let your customers answer questions, any question. Maybe it's things you have about new products. Maybe you're running a campaign. Maybe you're running a contest. So it will take all of that information and drop it into that poll. And there is a section in the poll where you can see how many have answered yes, how many have answered no, or whatever your parameters may be. The next one is custom widgets. This one is located on the left-hand menu, site content, custom widgets, input widget. To enable the custom widget that you've created, you would then go to site content, sidebar widgets, widgets, and then custom widgets. So you, just like any other sidebar widget, you would click and drag that custom widget, and it should display a name based on whatever you named the custom widget. So a custom widget, it can allow you to run, for example, custom HTML, CSS. If you have some JavaScript code from some third-party services, you could also place that in there, and it's all going to run on either the left or right side, depending on what you've input there. Some more basic functions, you can input images or animated GIF images, and then you can link those to various pages, whether it's on your website or even outside of the shopping cart itself. And that's great, again, for ads, promotions, anything you would like to really bring to your customers' attention. The next one is order view. This one's located under site content, checkout settings, default order view. Basically, this is going to allow you to set the default view that happens under orders, manage orders. And for example, you can enable pending, approve, partially shipped, void processing, so on and so forth. So the idea being if you have a ton of common orders that you use more often than others, you don't have to select those from the filter type drop down every time you are managing your orders. The next one is point of sale. This is located under orders, point of sale, and then there's a button that you would click to proceed through that. Additionally, you do have to enable the feature in that section before you can click on that button. So this is useful for running cash transactions, processing checks. It does allow you to save those checks as a PDF, and then you can send that to your customers as a receipt, for example. Uh, if you intend to do credit cards, you would need to use a processor such as Core Payments. Um, and then from there, similar to a phone order, you would just gather the customer's credit card information, input that into the POS system here, check out, and then everything would complete as what it normally would. The next one is PCI/security settings. This one is located under settings, store settings, PCI/security settings. This basically will give you a couple of options. You could block email addresses, and this is in terms of the admin users and even users trying to create an account on the front end of your website. You can also set a time before the system would auto log you out. By default, CoreCommerce has that set to 15 minutes. So you may notice that screen come up from time to time that asks if you're still here. This is how you can adjust that. Additionally, if you do have two users logging in as the exact same user, shortly after that, it will kick both of you out. And that is just part of PCI compliance. So the idea is you want to ensure that each of your admin users has their own unique account.